Ladies and gentlemen, welcome down under the mat. We are here in Madison Square Garage around the pool table of relevancy. This is Dan Danielson. I am Rowdy Reece, and we are here to talk today about All In Wembley 2024. How exciting was this pay-per-view?
I actually thoroughly enjoyed this pay-per-view.
I'm not going to lie, this is probably one of the AEW pay-per-views I've enjoyed the most, which I know they've had a 5-year history, but I feel like the times that they're going on at the moment, everything's really exciting at the moment. All the stories they've been doing, everyone's been getting really invested in them as well. And I feel like I definitely had the most investment that I've probably had in a few years at least.
I think
this pay-per-view.
You and I spoke about this whilst watching the show. It was a nice, crisp 4-hour pay-per-view.
I think that's pretty good for them.
Well, there was probably a 2-hour pre-show that we skipped out on completely. 4 hours, I think, is fine. And I think from our perspective, the one thing that you and I both noticed watching the show was that it was match finished, 30-second promo of next match, intros, match.
Yeah.
It was just wrestling all the way through.
Such quick succession. And I think it's very jarring when you're watching two different products, like mainly watching WWE, tuning into AEW every now and then. Like having the pay-per-view structured like that was very jarring. It's like we got a lot of action, but it was just like a couple of the promo videos they had, like the Ospreay one that we'll talk about, like that was phenomenal. Not having that done for your build-ups for the matches kind of took a little away from it, but I suppose because we've all been so invested in all these storylines, we knew what had happened anyway.
I mean, that to a point, but I also feel that the lack of anything backstage kind of took away some of the big game feel. Like, obviously, we know from an AEW perspective that All In is their WrestleMania, right?
Absolutely.
There was 50-something thousand people there. I'll try and get the number off Wikipedia shortly.
394.
Look,
something like
it's
that.
good. It's a good figure. Obviously,
absolutely.
The crowd was pretty fantastic all night long. But like when you went to WrestleMania and things, and the 2 points I remember is the Kevin Owens walking through the backstage and then stopping at Sami Zayn, then going out, and then Sami doing the same thing. Like those moments backstage made those matches feel huge. And tonight, you had that opportunity. You had the chance for Danielson to walk from the backstage, see Brie and his kids, kiss his kids, and then walk through the curtain. And that, I mean, look, that's not saying that was a bad match or a bad entrance by any stretch of the imagination, but you want big game feel. I feel like you could have upped the production a little bit and added some more to it. But this was a really good wrestling show.
Yeah. Speaking of upping the production, though,
Yeah.
the stage that they did for this was fantastic.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I loved it.
I mean, I would have liked to have seen possibly something on the ramp. Like, it was kind of just a plain black carpet. Like, even if it was AEW down the sides or a bit of lighting or something, like, I feel like that...
It was very black once you, like, came out from the entranceway where all the LED boards, the whole ramp at the top was black. There was a slight dip, and then there was, like, a secondary tier, which was all black as well, and then the ramp down
and again,
into the ringside.
Completely, this is us nitpicking it.
Oh, absolutely.
The stage looked fantastic. The crowd looked good. The massive AEW over the top of everything made it look really good. And like you said, Reece, I'm not sure. Obviously, there's 30,000 less people than last year.
Yeah.
So the seating and stuff on the ground seats looked more spaced out. Crowd didn't look quite as packed in, but they were loud, and it was a good crowd of people. And
UK fans are unmatched nearly, aside from the European crowds.
Yeah, I mean, UK is in Europe though, right?
You don't like France when you like separate those two, like UK crowds there. Yes, UK is in Europe, but the crowds are very different.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Let's crack on into the matches, shall we? Like I said, our watching experience for those of you internationally is Australia. This was on at 1 a.m. in the morning. So
on a Monday.
On a Monday morning. So we did not watch it live.
No.
We also decided to skip the pre-show.
Yep.
We will come back and watch highlights for that if needed, which we have done. So we went straight to Triller, downloaded AEW. So I've got the pack for All In and All Out. So we'll watch All Out a couple of weeks.
We're doing a review in a couple of weeks as well.
And I guess the jarring thing for us when we turned on Triller was that it just starts and it's ding, 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 and it shows you the trios belts.
Yeah.
And away we go.
And it's just, I suppose it's just, again, comparing two different products. Like, even on the weekly shows, AEW just straight off, someone entrance music hits, in-ring action starts.
Normally MJF.
Yeah. And this time, like, a massive show like this, there's no, like, big promo to build up to get everyone hyped. Like, we had it when we were in Perth.
Yep.
It was just, like, a promo package of stories leading up and all that sort of stuff. Like, it's just nothing. It's just like, boom, here's your wrestling action.
Yeah. And, I mean, look, the first match, do we want to talk about pre-show? We'll go pre-show.
Yeah.
Because the pre-show, for those of you playing at home, was Tony Khan's effort to get literally every person on the roster onto All
about
In.
30 people?
Well, the first
28?
match was a 16-man tag team match of...
Don't ask me to name all those people.
Do you want me to name them all?
Go for it, mate.
Tommy Billington, Kip Sabian, Rocky Romero, Kyle Fletcher, Leo Rush, Action Andretti, and Top Flight, who is Dante and Darius Martin.
Yep.
With Don Callis, who was on commentary for this match.
Yeah.
And they defeated... Sorry, I need another breath here. Jay Lethal, Satnam Singh, Anthony Ogogo, Davari, Private Party, and the Dark Order, with Evil Uno and Sanjay Dutt at ringside. So there was literally 19 people around the ring for the first match on the pre-show that no one cared about. The only spot I remember liking when we watched the review of this was Sanjay Dutt and Leo Rush. And Leo Rush just body splashing into him and literally him not
Just bouncing off him.
Cool, it happened. Well done. Enjoy your paycheck, everybody. Well done, played. The second match on the pre-show was the one that's maybe of some consequence in terms of storylines, which was Willow and...
I didn't even hear who won that match.
Oh, who won it? Willow and
Okay,
Ishii defeated Statlander and Stokely.
Yeah.
And that means that Willow gets to choose the stipulation for their match at All Out.
Yeah. And from what I understand, Ishii, his whole shtick is just not selling anything, apparently.
So watching the Wrestle Talk video where they had Brian Alvarez and Dave Meltzer on it,
Yeah.
Uncle Dave was talking about Ishii. He was not great on it. Look, to be fair, I'll give Dave his credit. He is very smart and he knows a lot of things about wrestling. Obviously, he's been doing it for 40 or years or so. He should. He's just an uncharismatic jerk on TV. He just doesn't come across well.
I haven't put myself through the trauma of watching that, and I don't think I will.
Yeah, I mean, you've missed it now. It's their prediction show for All In, so it's too late.
Yeah.
Cool. But he does say that Ishii, because he's the stone man of stone or whatever in Japan.
Oh, fuck, I actually look like him.
You do. That's a good effort. He has no neck, so he doesn't sell pile drivers because they don't impact him because he has no neck.
Yeah.
Whereas in this match,
I get it. It's kind of funny.
This match we saw Stokely hit a massive spinebuster on him and no sold it.
But it's his back, not his neck.
It's whatever. It is what it is.
I suppose it's mainly because maybe it's Stokely and he's a tiny, tiny man.
Possibly, but I mean, Ishii's a thick boy.
Yeah,
like
he's
it's
a thick boy. He's small, but he's thick.
And then the next stupidly.
Wait, before we get to that match, the massive announcement of AEW Grand Slam Australia, February 15th, Saturday, Brisbane Suncorp Stadium.
I'm pretty keen.
I am pretty keen.
Hands up if you've already booked accommodation for it.
Haven't fully committed to actually attending.
He's coming, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Just gotta pull a couple strings.
Annie,
with
don't watch this. Annie, it's not for you.
She won't anyway. It's fine.
Good to know.
I can say, yep, I'm going, but I have to pull some strings off screen first to get that committed.
Look, that'd be sick. We're gonna get an Australian pay-per-view. We're talking about it for a while now.
It's going to be all titles on the line. I'm pretty sure that's what they do.
Yep, should be.
Grand Slam, so
I'm
pumped, mate. Hopefully get to see Adam Copeland, maybe Kenny Omega, MJF, Bryan Danielson,
or they could
Kyle Fletcher, Tony. I'm just list half
let's
of the
just
AEW
swap all the
lineup.
titles out to Roderick Strong, Danny Garcia, Private Party,
and have all the Australians win.
So yeah, that's interesting. I can't wait. That'd be fun. I'm keen to see what they do, and I've never actually been to Suncorp Stadium.
Really?
Yeah, true story. Never been there.
I've been to
You've been to where? Sorry,
Suncorp Stadium. Suncorp.
I think
It's
it's
a
really
really
good,
nice stadium.
and it's high seating.
Yeah,
It's like very tiered, so it'll be good. Like when we went and saw WWE in Perth was all right, and the MCG was a bit iffy because it's much
That's the
wider.
thing, like with those big like circular oval stadiums, like there's a lot of space. Like you try and fill as much as you can, but there's a lot of space. With Suncorp, if they sell out that crowd, it will look packed.
And it's rectangular, so it's much smaller. Yeah, so that'd be great. Then what was the match? Oh, the next match we need to talk about quickly is the 10-man tag match. So let's throw more people on the card. Was the Von Erichs, Marshall and Ross.
Yep.
Been paying attention to them on Ring of Honor, promise. With Sammy Guevara, Shibata, and Dustin Rhodes.
He is the only reason why I've been paying attention because Dustin is a double champ right now.
He is correct. And they defeated the Undisputed Kingdom, who I think just needs to disappear off into the distance because no one cares anymore. And the Cage of Agony, Brian Cage and Bishop and Toliona. Cool.
It was a match we didn't watch.
Supposedly, the first match made Kyle Fletcher look really good for all the spots that he had. And then this match made Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara look really good.
Good.
Which is
brand new
fun.
Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, so you'd hope they get a good showing.
Yeah. The other thing that happened on the pre-show that we didn't get to watch was Saraya
Massive
come out.
return.
Saraya came out with her whole family saying how, you know,
And some.
and other people.
And friends.
Yeah. Saying how, you know, she's the star and she's
It's her house.
It's her house and it should all be about her. Which she did again on the post-show presser and yelling and swearing at Renee Young, which was a bit weird, but
Leave Renee
fair enough. I think what did Saraya say? If anyone has any bad reports or said anything about her, she'll come and get you. Hey,
guess
Saraya,
what?
it sucked. Come and get us.
Yeah. Fight me.
Yeah. Just him. I'll watch. That was the pre-show.
Yeah.
Jamie Hayter returned. Didn't
Fantastic.
get a hands on Saraya. Got a hands on
Danielle.
who?
I know her name in real life is Danielle.
Yeah, that's not
I
her.
can't remember. Harley Cameron.
Oh, Harley
There we go.
Cameron. You're correct. That's right. So you got a hands on her. And then 8 minutes before the pre-show finished, they started the entries for the main card.
Yeah.
So we didn't get to see it on the pay-per-view.
Nope.
But we go to the trios.
Trios. Ladder match. The London ladder match.
4 trios. were in this.
Fantastic start. Christian just running away.
That was great.
Just running away. Because we know he doesn't like heights. So he just runs away.
Which is so funny for someone who pretty much masterminded ladder matches throughout his WWE days.
It's a little rough to think of. We got a fantastic spot with the Gun Club at one point, doing the
Yeah.
Walla! Dudley Boys spot.
And they got the whole crowd in for the 1 to get the tables.
Oh, yeah, the get the tables.
That spot, we ruined it. We were out of sync. We
ruined it.
This is not going well.
What do you want me to do?
Get a bigger ladder.
Kill switch. Clean and house with
Yep.
like 20,000
There was a lot of
choke
choke
slams.
slams. Yep.
20,000. I counted them
I'm
myself.
glad you took all the notes for these matches.
Yeah.
This was obviously the first match on the main card. Went for 18 minutes 50.
Okay.
And we had
Good length.
your boys, the BCC,
BC.
and Pac come out on top.
On top.
I think the rumors a couple of months ago was that this was meant to be obviously
Triangle.
Yeah, Death Triangle. So Pac was meant to win this, which he still did, but it was supposed to be with the Lucha Brothers. And then
Does he now become part of the BCC, I guess?
well, he came out at the end.
Yeah, we did see him later on in the
Spoiler
night.
alert.
Spoilers. I'm sure if you're watching this, you've seen it already. Daniel Bryan won, so.
Who?
Bryan Danielson.
Thank you.
I do this all the time. It's my WWE brain.
It's you and JR.
Careful, I can't hit the table.
Let me just make sure we're still recording. Thanks, Reece.
I broke the recording 2 days ago. That's why there's no weekly episode this week, because I screwed us up.
You did break it. No, we're still recording. We're all good. We're rocking and rolling
Are
still.
you sure?
Yep, 100%.
Okay.
We're still good.
Okay.
Keep going. Yes. So this was, meant to be the Death Triangle, but with the rumors, very strong rumors now that Penta and Phoenix are going to WWE.
Yeah.
They weren't
Surely-
even on the card. Even in the fact that there was 32,000 people on the pre-show,
Yeah.
couldn't get a run in.
That just shows you something's going on.
So, yep. Look, I think we didn't pick the BCC as the winners.
No. I think this was one of our few losses of the night in
There, look,
predictions.
there was a lot of big spots. The ladders, there was lots of ladder spots as per usual. There was a spear from Christian to was Alistair? It was Alistair Black, I'm pretty sure, through a table.
Buddy. It was one of the House of Black.
And they went through a table, but only like the bottom third of the table, and it broke really
Looked pretty
awkwardly.
bad. We also got the like rolling senton Canadian destroyer through a table from Nick Wayne.
Yeah, from the inside of the ring to outside the ring.
Yeah.
Which was a really good spot.
Mental. Loved it.
There was the tease of Mother Wayne going through a table,
Yep.
but then
The
Juice
tease of kill switch turning.
on yet,
Very slight tease.
but didn't happen. So he ended up lifting Christian up, and then they came down, and Pac was the one who then rushed in at the end, got up the top,
Yep.
and won the match for the BCC.
Which, like, come to think of it, like,
It's a good look. I
of
think,
course he was going to win in his home country.
again, listening to Dave talk on that Wrestle Talk preview, essentially what he had said was that this pay-per-view and the way that they had done it, and what Tony loves doing, was he wanted a lot of Wembley moments.
Yeah.
And this was a Wembley moment.
Yeah.
You have Pat. It was the same as last year, man. Saraya won the world title in Wembley in front of her family and home crowd, and then dropped it 3 weeks later, and no one cared. It was purely about
Getting that
the
moment.
moment at Wembley, and so that's what Pac wins this. Good for him. Good for the BCC. But I don't. Yeah, unless he joins them, like I don't see
got
them
it.
as a
He's got
trio. Like it's weird.
They got it.
What was our next match that we rolled straight into? Because it
Tony
was back to
Storm
back.
versus Mariah.
Yeah,
May.
this was early.
Very early. Very early. I remember walking out to grab a drink and hearing them talk about this, and I was like, second match. Everyone knows second match is not where you want to be on a card. But I'll give it to the ladies. They absolutely pulled down the house.
15 minutes.
Great match.
Really good match.
They packed a lot of story into that match as well.
One thing this match had that others didn't. So a lot of the other things have been like sort of just groups put together to have a match for the sake of being at All In. Whereas obviously, we know this story's been building for months. Luther showing up for the first time in a couple of weeks since Mariah had thrown him off the stage a
We
couple
kind
weeks
of
ago.
thought, oh, is he going to turn? No, he got
he-
assaulted by Mariah very quickly, so that nixed
And
that
she
idea.
assaulted her mum.
Slapped her own mother across the face. How dare you? How dare you?
If you want to be a heel in your own country, I guess slapping your mother's a
It
good way of
worked.
doing
Everyone
it.
was just chanting for Toni Storm anyway, even though she's Australian, not British.
She's from
So lay
Queensland.
off.
She's from Queensland. You know where our Suncorp Stadium is in Queensland.
Queenland.
Toni Storm, title shot, Grand Slam. Give it time.
I'll tag Tony and I'll make him book the match.
I think he'll be more than happy to do so.
Thanks, Tony. Swing us some front row tickets if you can. Thanks. One thing I do want to question. We got a Storm Zero
We did.
from Toni Storm to Mariah May on the steel steps.
Yep, on the steps. Right on the...
Right on the top of the head, tippy top of the head. So can you, this is not the only time we're going to do this podcast, unfortunately. Can you explain to me how she got busted open down here,
You mean right above the crown of her eyebrow?
right above the crown of her eyebrow?
Look, the blood looked cool.
Yeah, I think it really played into the story, so I was happy to like let it slide a bit. Just because of the fact that she busted Tony open when she turned it off, winning the Owen Hart Cup.
Yeah.
I see the reflection in the story there. I get it. But it could have been done another way. Shortly after that, Tony was just laying into her in the corner, just punching her. Why not throw a
That
few
should have
stiff
busted
ones
her
in
open.
there, you know?
Yeah, agree. Yeah, agree. I think that the end to this match was a good finish in that she finished with that Storm Zero.
Yeah.
She's been obviously her understudy for months. She's
Yeah.
been, manipulating
Fits her with
Tony
her own
as,
move.
as being Tony. So her getting that is good. There was one thing that I didn't like with this was the teasing of the belts. Oh, actually, you know what? No, I liked.
No, that was-
I liked
it was
it in this
later in the
match.
show.
I liked it in this match because you did all these spots, then you did it again like twice, and you should have done that. But where Mariah was going to hit it with the belt, then Luther stopped it. Then they got the heel out, and then Tony was going to do it, and then she couldn't do it because she knew she'd get disqualified.
Because none of them actually got used, did they? They got threatened to get used, but I don't think anyone actually hit anyone.
No,
Did they?
I don't think so.
I think that was later in the show when that.
Yeah, it was later in the show
shenanigans
when they actually copped the belt in the MJF Ospreay match.
Yeah.
But look, I think this was the right winner. I think Mariah
Absolutely.
needed to win this match. I think if Tony had have won, you couldn't justify Mariah for a rematch.
No.
Whereas in this case, Mariah won the Owen. She got the shot. She turned on Tony. She's now won the belt.
Yep.
Tony will take a little bit of time away to come back, and then she'll come back and face Mariah for
I'd
a
really
rematch.
like to see her keep the same sort of like 50s starlet movie star character, but maybe like give it a sort of Cruella de Vil twist and like have half and half hair and act a little bit more
I have a
psychotic.
different idea for you.
Yeah.
I would like to see her now modernize it. So she's gone through the 50s, old Humphrey Bogart style, sort of Hollywood-esque. Bring her forward to the 70s and 80s and get her to do like an 80s.
Like a Marilyn Monroe type thing? Or is that
Marilyn's
past it?
probably a bit too early.
Yeah.
More like a Cher or like no. I'm trying to think of
Don't ask
someone
me,
from
man.
the 80s. But like 80s.
Farrah Fawcett? No, that's still probably too
No,
early.
but like
like the big
bushy hair,
big 80s
lots of
fro hair.
lycra and hyper colors and things, and just get her to change up. Like keep the still premise of that she is a movie character,
Yeah.
but just bring her forward into a different
Because
decade.
there's so much potential with that. So many different decades, different styles, different types of movie stars.
Yep.
There's endless potential, essentially.
I think that would be fun character development for her.
And not to skip over, Nigel McGuinness, a very lucky man, getting kissed on the forehead by Mariah May.
It's just the start of Nigel's lucky night, hey? Hey,
Spoilers.
hey.
We next rolled into the FTW title match.
Don't care.
with-
Can we move on?
Well, Hook won. That's what we expected. That's what we wanted. Jericho gets to add another accolade to his band Fozzy, who's playing Wembley Stadium again.
Yep.
Hooray. Good on him.
Look,
Maybe they'll play at Suncorp Stadium in Brisbane.
Cool. Wink, wink. We
Or
want
maybe
Jericho.
the night before.
I like the gimmick of Jericho having a bag of something, and it's always something relevant to the area they're in. If it's like hockey pucks or whatever. This time, for those of you that aren't English or Australian Americans, that might not know, it's cricket balls.
Yeah. So I think baseball, but harder.
And they're leather, and they have a very thick seam around them.
Yeah.
So they hurt like shit when they hit you in the shins.
They really do.
And Hook was just pegging him, just
Lobbing him
and a cricket bat as well. Like baseball bats generally are like lighter and metal and stuff, so they can swing a lot easier to hit the ball. Cricket bats,
They're just solid.
they're wood, thick wood, and especially the bottom end. They get to like this thick on the base of the bat.
Props to Brian Keith and Big Bill for taking those shots because
Yeah.
it didn't look like Hook pulled back on
No,
them either.
and if that was a proper cricket bat,
It sounded horrific.
that alert. And then Hook just whacking the cricket balls. I think he missed a couple that went into the crowd.
That's
Good
when he
job.
started throwing them.
That was cool. Big Bill going through the
barbed wire.
on a table spot was fine. It was very well set up in that you saw him and then he had to shuffle down to make sure he got the right spot.
Yeah, I want to mention the entrance that we got for Hook.
Oh, yes.
And the fact that
they blue balled you so
they
hard.
blue balled me so hard. They had the Taz entrance going. I'm like, oh my God, holy shit, the heartbeat. And it started getting to the crescendo. And then it just stopped. And then Hook's lame music hit.
And there was
Took
the hook
breath out of me.
signal.
Ooh, the Hook signal.
Yeah, I agree. If you're
But
going to go
it was a
full
really
Taz,
nice touch having Taz then help his son overcome the odds and win the match.
And he choked out Brian Keith, didn't he?
Yeah, with the red rum.
Yeah. Which I'm sure
Can't
Taz,
remember what Taz called it. So it's just the red rum.
the Taz mission, wasn't it?
Oh yeah,
Because it's
So
just a sleep. It's just a sleeper, right?
yeah, chicken wings. Like,
Yeah, chicken wing sleeper. Yeah. Look, I was of the impression that I did not care about this feud, and I still don't. And I thought that Jericho could win because I think the learning tree character is look, unfortunately over. As much as people hate it, it's like
Yeah.
it works
Yep.
for what it is.
It really, that's the shit thing. It works. So
But when I remembered the stipulation that if Hook doesn't win this, he could never fight for the title again, I was like, oh, Hook has to win.
yeah,
Which he did on a 10-minute match, which was fun.
we now move to the
They
AEW
went straight
tag.
into the tag match.
Boom, boom, boom. Like we said at the start of the show, one after another, after another, after another. Barely any sort of promo time, any vignettes in between.
Yeah.
Maybe like 30, 60 seconds, if that.
And
And then it was just like,
the strange part to me, I mean, I get why they did it production-wise, was that FTR came out first,
yeah.
then the Bucks.
And then the Acclaimed. Which props to him, getting that massive Seven Nation Army. Oh, scissor me, daddy. Oh, scissor me, daddy.
There you go, you're welcome. Yeah, look, good entrance. Max hit him with some Bret Hart jokes, made some more penis jokes.
And it was a lot more tame than we were expecting, I
It
guess.
was a lot shorter. I thought they were
Yeah.
going to like all the way to the ring. I thought he was going to have a verse on the Bucks, a verse on FTR, and then maybe something on London. And he didn't. It was
No. Bing, bing, bing. Done.
Just what it was. But they are really over.
Yeah. And surprisingly, they didn't pick up the victory.
Yeah, like the Bucks retained, but I think that's probably because I think the Elite needs to keep all the titles. I think that's the best picture that they can have as the heel faction on Dynamite and Collision is that they have all of the belts.
Yeah. I don't feel like they're really going to have much of a... I mean, like, this is just the way that I'd love to see it happen. They won't have much of a weakness to them until Kenny's fit and he comes back and he gets a team together to take them down.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably going to include FTR and then...
Yeah, more than likely.
Darby again to take on
Well,
Jack
I mean,
Perry,
they've gone through what? They went through Blood and Guts.
Yep.
And they went through whatever one before that.
Yep, whatever that was. Can't remember.
Where they had the big other street fight and thing and stuff. So, like, they've stayed on top.
Oh, was that the Stadium Stampede?
Stadium Stampede, yes. Yep. Yes, so they've retained both of those. I love that they were up on the titles were up, but they won.
I feel like that's like your big story. Kenny comes back, gets a team together, and they take down the Elite and they take all their gold.
Yep, agree. This match was good though. I loved the part, and this is the thing. I think we were talking about this last year when you had FTR and the Bucks, how they kept on switching who was in the move, but they could keep doing all the moves. So they were hitting shatter machines with somebody, with one of the Bucks and one of FTR and things like that.
Yeah.
And this time they did it with Max. Where Max hit the EVP trigger and then he hit the shatter machine and then he got thrown out of the ring.
And like that was one thing we mentioned a couple weeks back when we heard the Acclaimed were added into this match, was the fact that we know how good the Bucks and FTR are together.
Yep.
The Acclaimed added that bit of freshness and it really helped
did,
with this match because this is now the 6th time we've seen Bucks versus FTR in a match.
Yeah, probably. I mean, like it was this last year.
Yeah, and having that sort of freshness just did wonders for this match.
Yep. Having them try and cheat and Daddy Ass came in and stopped it, hit the Famouser onto one of the Bucks onto the belt.
Yep.
Again, the second time the belt came in to the match, this is the point where I was starting to get a little bit sus on this part of the interference because you've done this before.
Still going to do it a couple more times.
But in general, I think the chemistry between the three teams was really good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anthony Bowens is definitely the better of the Acclaimed in terms of in-ring. Yep. He's really, really good. And FTR are always phenomenal wrestlers and they can always put on a show. But I think, again, like we said at the start...
7-star FTR?
Yeah, the Bucks winning was the right call. Long term for that. And that was only 12 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Bit shorter than we probably thought. I thought they were going to get a bit more time than that.
Yeah. I suppose, like, look at the way they stacked that card. And they props to them for sticking to, like, a pretty acceptable time frame for a pay-per-view and cramming 9 matches on the main card.
Yes.
Good on them.
Yes.
Did well.
Yeah.
And then
we get to...
After Young Bucks retain. No, did you forget? Grizzled young veterans.
I forgot because I don't care.
Oh, I'm pumped,
they're your boys, not mine.
No, they're going to come in and they're not going to win the titles, but I'm pumped.
Again, it's a shot in the tag team division that they needed.
Absolutely. Especially like GYV are going to inject much needed rejuvenation.
Are they going to be as over when they're not in England?
Look, if the AEW crowd is smart, which I hope you are, you will remember their NXT UK chants and you will bring back the chants. Shoes off if you hate Gibson.
I don't think they will.
I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it.
Does this also mean that the grizzled young veterans have now wrestled in WWE, TNA, and AEW this year?
Perhaps.
Because when did they leave NXT?
I don't know how long ago they left. Could have been very start of the year. Because when did not American Alpha, Creed Brothers get called up? That was just shortly before
that was
WrestleMania,
last year,
right?
I think, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Last year it would have been.
Because that was their last appearance because they were still part of the faction with Joe Gacy.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah, so maybe it was last year. Well, within 12 months or so.
Still, that's top 3 American wrestling companies, and you've been a part of them in the last 12 months.
You've done well. Yeah, I totally forgot that part happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, well done.
Oh, I loved it. That's why I noted it down.
Look, that's why
Love me boys, mate. Love me boys.
You were taking the notes, not me. the Casino Gauntlet.
Now.
Can you talk first about the opening for OC?
Oh, the Mr. Bean opening.
Yeah.
The light coming down in the street of London and him just face planting.
Yep.
Right out of the Mr. Bean TV show.
Fantastic. And him in like a darker attire.
Yeah.
Normally he's got his white shirt and light denim. He was in
his
dark denim.
on.
Yeah.
Looked pretty good.
Great entrance as per usual. Number 2 entrant. Not who I picked, but
No.
I'm glad that the coin dropped and it was Kazuchika Okada.
Yeah.
Because you've got to get him on this pay-per-view. Like you can't,
absolutely.
You can't buy Okada, have him on your roster, and then not
use him
him
at your
at
version
all.
or at WrestleMania.
Yeah, but good. He was number 2. Then keep going, Reece, because I forgot the order of how everything goes.
This is why I wrote down the order.
Yes, please.
We had the massive surprise of Nigel McGuinness.
Was he number 3?
As number 3?
Yeah, he was too.
He sure was.
Okay. I loved his little purple shirts. I kind of wanted him to spike his hair more like he used to.
Like he used to. Yeah.
I think maybe he's a little bit thinning on top. Nigel, apologies.
That's right.
Just embrace it, mate. Just embrace it. He's not as bad as you, bro.
We then had Kyle O'Reilly.
Yeah, it's cool.
And then another surprise. This match was just packed with surprise.
This is where we knew that would come.
Everybody was popping left, right, and center.
The whole like watching this match is great because it was like a Royal Rumble, obviously. But when you watch the crowd and they're watching Okada, you do rainmakers and this, that in the ring, and everyone's watching for this. And it's 5. The whole crowd stands and turns. Who's coming in?
Zack Sabre Jr.
Our boy.
Who we thought was at Melbourne, Perth earlier this year. But
Well,
we were wrong.
you thought was it Perth?
You did too, don't you?
Shut up, you got me for that. Obviously, the recent winner of the G1
Yep.
has now a title shot for the New Japan
It's
heavyweight
coming up in
title.
the next few months.
He's taken in October, I'm pretty sure he's doing
yeah,
it.
because
Earlier
there's
than normal.
the UK show happening shortly after, and he wants to be.
He wants to be champion into the UK. Yep,
Yeah.
correct. So Zack Sabre Jr., which would be a fantastic get
Yeah.
if he was to do some more events, possibly a show in Brisbane.
I was literally just thinking him versus Bryan Danielson 3.
Him versus Robbie Eagles.
Oh,
Give us like a TMDK match. Because, I mean,
that'd be sick.
Bobby already tagged him on Instagram, which was where I'd seen the spoiler that Zach was in this match, was that Robbie Eagles had put a thing up saying, hopefully, hashtag TMDK at Suncorp, question mark, Zack Sabre Jr. And there was a picture of Zach there, and I was like, must mean he's at all.
Spoiler. We then had Roddy Strong from Undisputed Kingdom come out.
Yep. Hurry up and ditch the
Hangman
Undisputed
Adam
Kingdom.
Page.
We knew he was going to be in this match.
And then, surprisingly, massive pop, Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah.
Why did he get such a big pop?
He got a really big pop.
A really big
for,
pop.
for being Jeff Jarrett. It was quite substantial.
And then the spoiler that I saw.
I think I saw it too, but I didn't confirm it until the very end. Was
The reports earlier last week were confirmed.
yes,
Ricochet is in AEW.
yes.
And his first match next week on Dynamite is apparently going to be against Kyle Fletcher. So that is must-see TV, as
Can
they
I
say.
just also confirm that if that's real, great. Do you know who Will Ospreay's first match on Dynamite was?
Kyle Fletcher.
Kyle Fletcher. Oh, they're setting the things in early. Before we keep talking about the match, let's talk about Ricochet.
Yeah.
Let's talk about all of the shit we said months ago that he was never going to go because Samantha wasn't going and they were keeping the storyline together. And they kept
I don't
referencing it
remember
on
saying
TV. We definitely said it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's any video evidence of us talking about it.
We were wrong, clearly.
Yeah. Happy to admit defeat in this.
I think that this is probably a good idea for Ricochet's pockets for the amount of money he's going to get for this. I would love to see Ricochet and Ospreay. I'd love to see Ricochet and Danielson. I'd love to see Ricochet, MJF, like all these new things that you've never seen before. He can bump like shit for anyone out there. So I'm keen to see it. Do I then think that once he's done a few of these big time sort of matches things, he just drifts into the mid card in AEW and goes missing? Probably.
Which is exactly what happened in WWE.
Yeah. I think he has a ceiling, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And without the talking game, the promo. Oh, but then again, Ospreay
not
doesn't
that
have a
bad.
great promo either,
Well,
really.
this is his bruv.
He just yells a lot. I don't like it too much.
MJF also yells a lot. Just quietly.
Yeah, but MJF's very good on the microphone.
He yells a lot.
Look, I think Ricochet will be great. I think he's a bit of an injection in there. I think that hopefully he gets a run of matches like what Ospreay did, because I think that the way that they brought in Ospreay and used him is perfect. That is your bookmark for how you do Ricochet. Okada was different in that he came in as a character and part of the elite and then was part of a story, whereas I think Ricochet is just going to come in and do bangers matches.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you need a Dynamite main event, someone to face Moxley that he hasn't forced in a while. Here you go, throw him against Ricochet. So, look, I mean, he came in, crowd pop was huge. He got in, hit a few moves, did some big flips, did his Ricochet stuff. He looked really good.
Yep. And then we had a couple more surprise entrants.
Yeah.
Which we kind of weren't expecting.
Yeah.
Christian, after losing his trios championships earlier in the night, managed to sneak his way into this match. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, they're going to reflect that Chris Jericho, believe it was No Mercy, 2010 or something around there. He lost his world title in like a brutal fight because he was all bloodied and disheveled. Then got added into a world title match later that evening and won the title. And I was like, here's Christian's redemption story.
Yeah,
and then
we don't want Christian to get a redemption story. He's a jerk. Before we get to the finish and the last person that is the finish.
Yeah.
What are the spots from this match? What are some of the things we want to talk about?
I didn't write spots.
Come on, man. You were taking notes.
Yeah, I was taking order notes.
Oh, fair enough.
Look, there were a lot of spots. It was hard to retain absolutely everything.
There was.
Hangman coming in, interaction with Karen, Jarrett.
Yep, and then
copping the guitar to the head.
Guitar, yep, which knocked him out of the match. There was a point towards the end where you could definitely see that they were hitting the straps of the finish when Okada hit Rainmakers on like 3 different people, and there was really near falls. OC came in, he did a couple of roll-ups. The way that he won the first position was when someone was being submitted and then he rolled them up for it.
Oh,
was same spot here.
I was very scared that they were actually going to give it to him there.
That was really good. Roddy Strong, the messiah of the backbreaker, which I kept saying, and Reece and Lockie were like, he hasn't even done any backbreakers. Then he hit like 5 of them.
Yeah, but you said, messiah of the backbreaker, like to say he is one, but it wasn't. And he did that several times, folks.
But then he hit several backbreakers.
Yeah. Okay.
So I feel justified.
Delayed.
It's fine. And then I think, the point to the match that wrapped it up in 26 minutes was the last entrant.
Luchasaurus.
As Christian was about to win.
Yep.
And it was like he was climbing the ladders, and they put the gigantic ladder that was way too tall, and they were right up.
You're
the
thinking
top.
of the trios title match.
Am I?
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely am. This is the gauntlet one. Yep, never mind.
I'm pretty sure Christian was in the throes of winning. Luchasaurus's music hit.
Yep.
Because he just as Luchasaurus, not Kill Switch.
Because he just speared. Christian had just speared somebody.
Yeah. Can't remember who.
Out of nowhere. We're like, oh my God.
He was about to capitalize, and Luchasaurus comes down, and they face off. And we're like, here it is. They're finally going to pull the trigger.
But he grabbed him on the... I noticed this straight away. Because if he goes for a choke slam, right, it's the outside hand, but he'd put his hand on Christian's wrong shoulder. So he couldn't choke slam.
Yeah.
So that was never what he was trying to do. So then when that happened, he pushed Christian out of the way, hit the choke slam on whoever it was that ate the pin. I can't remember. Roddy. Let's just say it was Roddy.
Yeah, let's just say it was Roddy.
And he got choke slammed, and then he just grabbed Christian, dragged him on top. 1, 2, 3. Christian
absolutely blue-balled me with that turn.
Yeah, you really wanted Luchasaurus to turn so bad.
For a bit. I'm pretty sure this time last year we were waiting for that turn.
Long-term storytelling, AEW's best thing.
Long-term storytelling.
Well, look, he's a dinosaur. It will take billions of years.
Yeah. Rolling on into the next match. I think the match that most people were keen for. One of the highlights of the night.
That's why the title.
That's why the Burberry scarf's right there, overshadowing Big Gold, but it's necessary. MJF versus Will Ospreay, who got a massive spectacle of an entrance.
I think Lockie called it cinema.
Yeah. He called several things cinema today, which he was not wrong about.
Yeah, that Assassin's Creed video package for Ospreay being narrated by the guy from Assassin's Creed. And I'm seeing interviews of how much Ospreay has talked. Obviously, the hidden blade is because he loves Assassin's Creed.
He has a tattoo on his arm.
A tattoo. He's wore out things to make him look like Assassin's Creed characters in terms of his entrance stuff. For him to get the whole video, the
whole shebang,
everything, and then the
parkour
people, people. What an entrance!
Yeah.
And that crowd were absolutely hyped for Ospreay.
Just didn't shut up all match.
Ospreay. And then MJF.
We kind of suspected because Will Ospreay got the big, massive spectacle entrance. We thought he'd get like Star Spangled Banner play before like his entrance music. No, he just strolled out in his big American
hat. The big top hat was what got me.
The big top
and
hat.
the eagles on his thing.
The American flags waving on the stage.
Then the big flag and the streamers that then stuck around the entire match.
The entire night. They were still pulling him down in the main event.
The entrance for both of these, and then Dapper Yapper, Justin Roberts calling it out, obviously being the United States Championship for AEW.
Whole crux of the story.
And look, a lot of people would say, how do you beat your 59-minute and 58-second match from a couple of weeks ago?
Yes.
It's probably pretty close.
What I was thinking during the match while I was watching, I was like, it's hard to top that because they did so much in that match and they did everything so well, but they did everything well differently in this match. And that's what I really like. You didn't really see a lot of like, sometimes when you see like repeated matches between competitors, you'll get like those repeat sequences and spots and stuff that they do. I don't think I really noticed much of that. Like aside from like your huge key moves that you do, like the Os Cutter, the Hidden Blade, Panama Sunrise, and like all that sort of stuff that MJF and Ospreay regularly hit in their matches.
Yep.
There wasn't really anything that was like a bit of a duplication.
No, and I think that what this match proved was that they both learnt from the last one.
Absolutely.
So when he was going for Oz Cutters, MJF would catch him and return it and chuck it into a crossroads and hit him with that. And then when MJF was going for the Heat Seeker, Ospreay would then come out of that and then hit him with an Oz Cutter instead. Like they worked out the reversals throughout the match. They obviously had a fair bit of stuff going around outside of the ring, hitting stuff on the aprons. There was another title spot with this one, like we said.
That's third for the night.
The third time. This one was set up more when Ospreay went for the Hidden Blade, MJF ducked and he took out a cameraman.
Yeah, that was brutal.
And that cameraman, well done to you, bro.
Wait. No, Ospreay hit the Hidden Blade on the cameraman. Wasn't with the title.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Oh, I thought you said you hit him.
No, but that's what sets up the title spot.
My bad.
Jeez, man, God, you threw off like I was thinking it was the wrong thing.
Yeah, I thought you were.
No,
he started talking about the trios title match in the gauntlet.
Yeah, shut up. It's been a long day. I was also trying to work whilst watching this.
He marked himself out of office and people still booked in meetings. So.
Yeah, look, I hate being important, unfortunately. But yeah, the cameraman that took the bump sold it brilliantly. Go get yourself get some matching socks though, bro, because that was a little bit silly.
Mismatched socks and wacky undies as well.
But also, like, why? I get the point, right? You do this spot so that you can then sneak in the title, go for a title shot, or the whatever.
The foreign object, because the diamond ring had been stolen.
Yeah, whatever that was that he put on his hands, like a knuckle dusters, but it wasn't. Yeah. I get it, but why would the referee care about a cameraman? Like the referee's standing in the ring.
That's why medical people are at ring.
100%. It's not the ref's job. That ref is there to the two men officiate the match in the ring.
Yep.
He didn't care about the cameraman. Yep. But fine. Look, storytelling. It was there for a reason. Obviously, MJF tried to take advantage of it. Gets the knuckle dusters out, ready to hit Ospreay with it, and then someone stops him. And I thought it was a Michael Oku. I was like, here's your debut of Michael Oku coming to AEW. Michael Oku.
Boo.
Oku.
Boo.
Perfect. But it wasn't. It was a black hooded figure, and then they stopped it.
Whipped the mask off.
It's Danny Garcia. Sorry?
Daniel Garcia.
There we go. That's correct. Look, great. Obviously, he was nearly killed by MJF a month or so ago.
It sounds so bad. I don't even remember what happened.
I
know like there was blood involved because Ospreay had a white shirt.
He pile drived him off the top rope, remember?
Oh,
he did a jumping pile driver and then he just like beat him down.
Right.
Yeah, that was.
Thank you for refreshing my memory.
You're most welcome. But so then obviously this is now the next feud for MJF.
Yes.
Get him away from Ospreay. MJF and Garcia, which will be fine. That ties into the story. You also then had MJF nearly hit the Tiger Driver on Ospreay.
Yep.
And then when Ospreay had the chance to hit it the second time after Garcia had stopped him, he hit it because Daniel Bryan told him to do it. And he did. And he covered MJF for about 13 seconds.
Yeah, kind of.
Really buried him.
A little bit too long to get to the cover there, ref.
But it was fine. 1, 2, 3. Ospreay wins. Then everyone's favourite fallen angel, Christopher Daniels comes out, switches out.
International title is back.
It's back. We all knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
So Ospreay was never going to be the US champion. It was always going to be the international champion.
No.
So
Especially after what he did to the IWGP United States Championship.
yeah, he made that the
UK
UK one as well. But look, really, really good match.
Yeah.
Really good 25 minutes. They fit, I think, everything from the last match into this match in terms of the spots, and they just condensed it down to hit the highlights of it. So on the Dynamite match, which I think is probably one of the best TV matches of the year, they told a very long story, being a full hour, going and brawling into the crowd, long spots of recoveries and stuff and big storytelling. This was that match, but in 20 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really good. Really good match. And again, right winner for Wembley. We love that Tony Khan loves his Wembley moments. This had to be the Ospreay moment.
Get good Australian moments then.
Kyle Fletcher.
Surely.
Gave Kyle Fletcher a title shot.
Kyle Fletcher Ospreay.
Or bring back Aussie Open, get him to win the tag titles or someone. I'm happy with that too.
Yeah, sure. I don't really know the other guy too well since he's
Mark
been
something or other.
Yeah.
He's been injured for a while though.
Yeah. Next is the match we don't really want to talk about because Mercedes. We did spot the carriage conveniently sitting side of stage earlier in the evening, and we were like, "Oh, what's that for?" I was looking at it and I was watching it because it was during the Young Bucks entrance, and I was like, "Oh, what's the carriage there for?" And then I was like, "Oh, it's part of the LEDs, like the
screen." Yeah,
but no, it wasn't. It was there. And
I was kind of hoping
after that, I was like, "Oh, it's going to be for Mercedes, surely."
And I was kind of hoping that maybe Hangman had just like rolled down to the ring with a horse and carriage.
That would have been cool.
That would have been acceptable. Mercedes, not so much.
Yeah. I mean, look.
3 corgis in there with her. I get that you're in England, but come on. You're not the Queen.
I don't want to talk about it, man.
I don't want to talk about it.
I didn't take notes. My notes were,
please.
It was a match.
Look, that's being a bit unfair on Britt Baker.
Yes, I know, but I'm not a big fan of Mercedes.
Doctor of Medical Dentistry.
Yeah.
DMD.
Fun fact, if you didn't know what DMD was, there you go. Look, it was
fine.
The start was a little slow.
Yep.
Because I think every other match on the card, they got into it pretty quickly. So this was a sort of methodical start to the match.
It's a very Mercedes match, though. That's how she does it.
Yeah. And then once they got going, trading moves left, right, and center, like that really got my interest peaked.
Yep. I think my highlight was Britt doing the Eddie Guerrero spot.
Oh,
again,
to get
the title belt in the ring. It's the 4th match in a row.
There were 2 belts involved in the match this time.
And so
come on, guys.
The ref had to throw out the one that Mercedes was looking at, and so then the Britt shithouse, the Camille, got the second one, and Britt just threw it at her, and then boom, hit the deck. And the referee was like, "Oh, you did that."
And then like she's
oh wait, we're gonna do this one. Oh, yay!
And then the Britt like kind of rolled over and like looked towards the entrance ramp, but the camera was there. It was just like,
bye bye.
Very nice spot.
But then the finish was messy. Like she had her in the.
Britt was really getting on top.
She had her in the whatever her lockjaw finish is.
Yeah, they managed to wiggle and jiggle out of it, and then had a bit of a struggle to get up to their feet, and then all of a sudden Mercedes reverses it into the Monet Maker.
She tripped her into the ropes, and it looked like Britt just hit the ropes really hard and then bounced back. And I heard the commentators say, "Oh, that looked like a really tough hit into the ropes," and then she hits the moneymaker and finished it. But it was like,
it was very abrupt.
That's the pre-move to your finish, was tripping her into the ropes.
Yeah, we had to rewind it because we were just like, "What happened?"
Because we kind of missed that finish.
Lockie tops.
Look, Lockie does talk. We knew Mercedes was going to win. Yeah. She wasn't going to lose the titles.
No,
we knew that was going to happen. I kind of expected a little bit more.
Yeah,
out of it.
I would have liked a bit more of a grandiose finish.
I also would have liked more of Britt being a little closer to winning.
Yeah.
She had her in the submission, yes. There was a couple of near falls. I think there was a couple of near falls, but not.
But she did hit the Panama Sunrise on Mercedes, which was fantastic.
Nice. But yeah, look, like I said, it is what it is. It was there.
Yeah, absolutely. How long was that match?
That one was 17:25.
A bit longer.
Yeah, so longer than the Tony Storm match. Not sure that I'd make that decision, but it's fair enough.
Yeah.
Then we go on to the coffin match.
Which was quickest match of the night?
No.
No.
The hook match was quicker.
Oh.
Just.
This felt like a really quick match. They did their spots in the ring and then they went up the ramp and then came down and did the finish and it was done.
But I think we need to mostly talk about that Darby Allin is a maniac that
Gluing thumbtacks to his face?
hot glued, well, not hot glued, what did he say? Gorilla glued.
And they still
Thumbtacks.
fell off.
Thumbtacks to his head. And like the
Maniac.
point where Jack starts slapping, but he does it again. I'm like, what are you doing, idiot? You just slapped him.
I missed that.
As they were at the coffin at one point, Jack went and hit him and he was like, ow, damn it.
I love it. It's just those instincts just kicking in.
Just not very bright.
We got real glass. I loved it.
And then the whole crowd
thought it was
chanting, Cry Me a River.
Yeah.
That was good.
Jack was really over. He is really over. Props to him.
So's Darby, though.
I
Ridiculous as he is.
saw him debut his new belt on Collision,
Yep.
which is now like, what, a week and a half ago or so.
Yeah, because it wasn't 2 days before.
And I was like, oh, here we go, another custom title for someone. Little did I know that Jack went out and made the damn belt himself. Smelted metal down.
Smelted metal down.
Yeah, that's what you do. You smelt metal.
It's really, isn't it what the word? Smelting.
Yeah, smelting. You know how I know that? What a Warcraft.
It wouldn't be from any actual realistic way. I mean,
No.
playing games.
No. But yeah, he actually made that himself.
Yeah, okay.
And once I saw the video of him during that making process, I was like, oh, this belt's actually kind of pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'll happily eat my words.
I knew when it was a coffin match, I had a feeling there's going to be some dumb spots in it, obviously. I had a
There
feeling...
weren't as many as I thought, though.
The spot that I thought that they would do, which they didn't, was...
Coffin drop onto the coffin.
No, because they did that in the last year's match when it
Yeah.
was against Swerve and Christian and he coffin dropped onto it. What I actually thought he would do was... The coffin was closed.
Yeah.
I actually thought Sting was going to be in the coffin. So I thought that Jack was going to destroy Darby early and then go to the coffin, lift it up to put him in, and Sting be like, "Roar," straight out of it.
Undertaker style.
Yeah, didn't happen. I was like, oh, that's disappointing. But then Sting showed up anyway.
It's Sting!
Thanks, Giovanni. I then also thought, I kind of predicted that they were going to set it on fire.
Yeah.
Like, with everything they've done
They
between...
didn't quite get there because Sting came out.
Yeah, but that was what that... Why did they pour the gasoline
Why
on
did
him
they pour it-
inside of it?
Yeah.
You're not setting it on fire once you
Come
close
on.
the lid.
No, that's just weird. I mean, some might have seeped through the middle and then...
Yeah, it didn't make a lot of sense.
But luckily, they didn't actually do it.
The real glass spot was funny. The
Yeah.
thumbtacks was crazy yet
The-
fine.
Tying Darby's hands together, taking him up the ramp, tying his feet together with his own belt, and then throwing him off the stage. Great work.
Decisive victory.
Yeah, very decisive, which is what I was kind of hoping because he's on a real momentum roll after coming back as the scapegoat character. And
Yeah.
I know we were probably shitting on him when this whole video came out and CM Punk left AEW and then all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, but everyone's happy now.
Yeah, he's really, he's proven his worth.
Yep. I think too, I can't remember what it was, but Darby definitely won a tournament or the last Casino Gauntlet or something so that he has a title shot in the future.
Yeah.
So I think that getting him away from Jack and that mid-card title allows him maybe to go back up into the upper mid card, where he can sort of have a title shot again and sort of get involved in that. Because I think that him being from he's a Washington boy.
Yeah.
Swerve's a Washington boy. Danielson's a Washington boy.
Triple threat. In
Look,
all their hometowns.
Where's Wrestle Dream in a couple of months' time?
Tacoma, Washington.
Just saying. So I think that maybe the stars are aligning for that to happen, which would be cool. But yeah, that was fine. Sting came back out, saved the day.
Yep.
Cool. That's what we wanted. The Elite ran off scared.
Unexpected, but we got a lot of unexpected surprises with this, and I really enjoyed that.
And look, I think the AEW have done quite well. Like we said, this was a really fun pay-per-view. Although it was just match, everything in it was consequential. There was nothing that I was like, oh, it's dumb, apart from Mercedes.
But that's just Mercedes.
Yeah, we're not fine. Main event time.
Main event. Man, fucking what a main event it was, mate.
Are you gonna see, or are we gonna see? Like, how are we gonna do this?
Oh, it's the Bryan countdown.
All right, we'll stop. Sorry, Tony Khan, that's another $20,000 you have to pay for the rights for that song.
Oh, at least we didn't say the actual lyrics.
Yeah, we didn't. Well, we could
Now,
we can
get
say
copyrighted.
it. We just can't sing it. We can't sing
So
the.
we sang the Bryan countdown.
Correct.
So yes,
It was
the
the
massive
Bryan
final
countdown.
entrance for Daniel. Fuck.
Stop it! It's
Can't
time.
help it. Okay, I'm a WWE guy.
It's you and JR because JR also called him Daniel Bryan in
Did
this
on
match.
commentary, which was hilarious.
Look, we actually said that a couple of weeks ago when JR did the interviews, the sit-downs with Danielson and with Swerve, that we assumed that he would be on commentary for this. I didn't. To be fair, I didn't even listen to him in this match. I didn't hear him make a difference
I
to
don't
calling
think he
it.
did much.
Nice that he was there. That's a really good spot for JR to pop up and have one
Yeah.
match and be there for Bryan. But that's it. Like I think we've said this on our TikToks and things beforehand that JR needs to be used sparingly, and I think this was fine.
Yeah, good use of JR. Having him do that interview with Swerve was just heartbreaking in a way because he's just like he's not the guy that we once knew.
Correct. But look, I don't think he detracted from this match. I don't think he added a lot to this match. A lot of this match was the storytelling in the ring.
Yeah, which
The way that Danielson was selling, obviously, you said as soon as he walked out to the ring and Bree and the kids were ringside, you're like, yep, they're getting involved at some point. It's going to be really ominous for their interference, I guess, in the match. Swerve dragging a bloodied and beaten Danielson out right in front of them and just kicking his goddamn head in front of the children. Oh, Swerve.
Can we quickly talk on how that happened for a sec?
Well, I mean, he gets his hands up and then he kicks his head in.
No. How Daniel... Fuck.
Bryan Danielson.
How Bryan Daniel... Jesus.
I apologize so much, ladies and gentlemen. I promise you, he actually likes Bryan Danielson.
I do.
He's just a mark
the
for
way that
WWE.
he got busted open. He got... What was it? I feel like it was a fireman's carry onto the ring bell.
Yeah, it was like a...
But
Yes.
hit the back of his head.
On the ring bell.
On the ring... back of his head on the ring bell. Mm-hmm. Yet the front of his face got busted open.
He and Mariah may have been doing acting classes together.
They have.
Sorry, blading classes together.
But yeah, that leading to Swerve stomping him in front of his family. A bloodied Bryan Danielson in front of his own family. Like that's... And then getting up in Birdie's face as well.
Yeah.
That was rough.
You want your father back? This is what you can have. You can have him. You can take him back now. He's yours.
Swerve is so good at being a shit head heel when he needs to be.
I love the fact that he's like, I think I mentioned this on the podcast that disappeared and never got made the ether because it was technical difficulties. We ruined it. I said if you watched SmackDown last week, Kevin Owens is the Deadpool of WWE in that he breaks the fourth wall. So if you watched on SmackDown, he walked out when A-Town Down were talking to Cody Rhodes and says, look, this would normally lead to a brawl and then the general manager will come out and say there'll be a tag match later on, blah, blah. How about we just skip all that and Nick Aldis just come out and give us a match? So he's breaking the fourth wall being the Deadpool, right? I think Swerve, for the comparison to that, is the Punisher of wrestling. Ooh. In that he does what has to be done. Yeah. He will kill if he needs to kill. And he's a massive anti-hero.
Exactly what this match was about, doing whatever was necessary to get that victory.
And although he is the villain, you cheer for his story because he's very vindicated in what he does. And the Punisher is the same. You watch Punisher in those Daredevil TV shows and you've read him in the comics and stuff. He is a bad guy. He kills a lot of people. Yeah. But a lot of the time you're like, yeah, but I get why he did it. Yeah. And I think that kind of is how Swerve is to me.
Yeah. There were a few times during that match where I thought, shit, Swerve's going to retain. Like
you were really questioning it.
He hit a Swerve stomp and 3 house calls. And Bryan still kicked out. And the way that he kicked out was just like
the dead fish.
It was just so well done. So well done.
There was that. Then there was where he hit him with whatever his finishing maneuver is.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Swerve thing where he packages them up. He held him up for a bit. And bang, down. I think my favourite part to that was that every time he hit those finishes, he was looking at Bree.
Oh,
They
I
were
didn't even notice.
He held Bryan Danielson. Right up.
You even said it.
You're welcome. It's for you. He held him right up, staring at Brie. Dumped him down, and then 1-2, and he kicked out. Then there was the spot where he, I can't remember what it was, where he did something, and Bryan just no-sold it, and then Bryan was staring at Brie and just hulked himself right up, and then just slapped Swerve.
We also got Swerve no-selling I don't know what the knee's called anymore. The psycho knee?
Psycho knee.
The psycho knee.
And he just-
Swerve just like no-selling, just like backing into the turnbuckle, then just being like...
No, but then
just
he
like-
just brushed it off.
So many different layers to the story told in this match, and it was perfect.
Now,
Perfect.
I will go on record as a lot of the time of us on this podcast, Reece and I specifically, not so much Ted, because Ted used to kind of not really care about this perspective, but you and I have always discredited AEW for not using finishing moves as finishes.
Yeah.
When you hit someone with a tombstone pile driver, done. That should be it.
Yeah.
But it happens too often that people get hit with it and then they kick out at 2, and oh my God. And that's why a lot of people, I think, have a distaste possibly for the Ospreay and MJF type matches where there are
Lots of
13
finishers.
finishes hit
Yeah.
that never finish the match.
Yeah.
This felt like that, but I was totally okay with it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Because
And
Bryan
it
kicking
does
out-
seem kind of like hypocritical, but like
Oh, so hypocritical. That's why I'm calling it out. Like we normally...
whatever it takes to win the match. And that was the story that was told throughout the entire match.
And from Bryan's perspective, whatever it takes to keep his career alive.
Absolutely.
He did not want... I mean, he was okay with retiring. I think he'd come to
because
that
he
point.
wants to spend more time with his family.
But also, he doesn't want to leave. He doesn't want to stop.
Now he's a champion.
This was great. The fact
loved
that
every second.
he then got him... I was very glad that the Hangman interference that occurred, which we called was going to happen.
Yes, we did think that was going to happen because we'd all heard the rumors about the confirmed match with Swerve and Hangman at All Out in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, oh, that means Swerve's going to retain. Well, no.
No, it means the Hangman costs Swerve.
Yeah,
He didn't really cost him, but he did enough.
Distracted him enough for Daniel Bryan to hit the psycho knee.
Bryan
Fucking
Danielson.
God damn it.
This is you've
Hit
done
the
this to me.
psycho knee to get the upper hand.
Why don't you just call him Brian?
Brian, sure.
Because then it's good either way.
But I like his full name.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm Dan Danielson, mate.
Yeah, exactly.
But
But yeah, like him hitting that after Hangman comes out, got him back on top and got it to sort of a level playing field, and that led to your home stretch where
Yep.
it ended up that Swerve got a Psycho knee to the front and then to the back, and that was your finish. 1, 2, 3. Yes-Mania Part 2.
Yes or Mania. Yep. Lots of yes chants.
Lots, and they were going nuts for it.
And all the... I love the fact that he got his family in the ring. Bray and the kids came in. Then
Yep.
the BCC came down. And then there was a point where...
And Pac was there too.
yeah,
So
he's got to be
in the
100%,
BCC
he's
now,
gotta be
right?
there. He's got to be
Just
part
makes
of the family.
sense.
Where Brian was like getting his youngest kid, like, come run to me. And the
And
kid was
he's
just
not
like, nah.
confetti's on the floor.
I
I
wanna
want to play with the confetti.
That was very fun.
When I'm a kid, I would have done that if I was a kid.
Yeah, I don't know what I'd do if I was a kid in front of 50,000 people with all those lights on me. I'd be like,
I don't feel like you'd really be that conscious because Buddy's only what, like 3, 4, 5. He's very.
he
young.
wouldn't. No, he wouldn't be that old. He'd be 3.
Yeah, he would not.
Because
Remember
what's
that.
is Poppy?
Birdie.
Birdie. She's what? She'd probably be 7-ish, 7 or 8.
Yeah, she's getting up there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Look, great,
This is a great pay per view.
great main event. Great pay per view. It ticked all the boxes.
Yeah. Except Mercedes.
Yeah, but look, the Mercedes match was what we wanted.
That was pretty
it to
much
be.
like the one downside, and it wasn't even really a downside. It was just that we're not fussed on Mercedes, so we weren't that invested in it.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean it wasn't a good match.
No, I agree. And I think that from a story perspective, I can see how pretty much all of this goes to All Out.
Yeah.
You've got, you've got your Elite and the Young Bucks moving on. You probably get a Young Bucks acclaimed singles match now, or
Yep.
like singles tag match at All Out. You've got Hangman Swerve.
Yep.
You'll have what other matches?
Do you
come
have
from?
Bryan Danielson? I corrected myself
Yeah.
before I said the whole thing. Do you have his first defense at All Out? Do you leave it a little bit more time?
I don't know. It depends on how much they want to play on
It
the
depends on who it's going to
neck
be.
surgery and how much he needs and time off and all that kind of
Because
stuff.
there was a point during that match where Swerve hit the vertebrae on him.
He did,
and
yeah.
Medics came in straight away.
Yeah.
They were playing that up.
Because that was after the cattle mutilation, which I love. I love the cattle mutilation. Such a good submission move.
Great submission.
And yeah, Swerve just powered out, picked him up, vertebrae. Oh, how sick.
Looked great.
In general, I'm going to give this a solid 4.5 stars.
Yeah.
It's not quite 5 stars. I think that if there was a little bit more production of someone, a bit of backstage
Yeah,
interviews,
backstage stuff.
you get Renee talking to 1 or 2 people, even if at some point she had if you could have had her backstage talk to Hangman after he got smashed by Jarrett.
Yeah. And then say something about doing something at some point later in the
Fine,
night.
I'll just take it in my own hands then. If I can't do it the right way, I'll do something like just little bits of extra of storytelling. I think would have bumped it up a smidge. But I was all the wrestling in the ring was great.
Yep.
All the right people won, I think, in terms of the potential stories and moving forward. And in general, the crowd was hot as.
Yeah.
They somehow found a way to chant everybody's name in the
Seven Nation Army.
yeah in that chant. What was it was Nigel McGuinness they were doing at the start?
Nigel McGuinness.
Yep. And then it was Ricochet. Then it was
Or was that just us being idiots?
I think maybe it was just us doing the us Ricochet part. But yeah, every time someone was there, they got a chant for it, and it was great. And I'm very proud of them.
English crowds for you.
Very proud of them doing the Crimea River. That was good.
Did well. Props to them.
Any other last thoughts, Reece?
No.
On All In.
No, I think we've recapped it very nicely.
Yeah.
Not shat on AEW too much, which is different for us on this channel.
No,
Kind of going away from that.
yeah, it's nice. We've given you a big long hour summary of everything that we saw.
He's Dan saying, let's keep it to 35 minutes.
Well, look, we tried.
Tried.
But we just got carried away with talking because there was a lot to talk about.
And it was all good.
So thank you very much for watching.
Come back next week and see our review of Bash in Berlin.
And then the week after, come and see our
Fall Out.
We're going to be busy,
not to
Reece.
mention, we've also got NXT No Mercy in 7 days.
We do. And we've obviously got a weekly show and a bunch of new stuff to catch up on because we failed on that last time, so we apologise. But if you want to come chat wrestling to us, come join our Discord. Links down below. It's also on the... Look, right there.
Right
See?
there.
As I'm
So
saying,
look.
links in the description.
Right there.
Perfectly timed.
Don't forget to head down to the TikTok.
Yep.
And also, most importantly, subscribe to our YouTube page. Slowly growing, almost hitting that 400 mark, which is a fantastic.
And over
number to
1,000 on TikTok. So we're going all right. Going all right,
get.
ladies.
Onwards and
gentlemen.
upwards.
Thank you, Radio Rosie.
Thank you, Dan Danielson.
How are we going to sign off on this massive all-in paper review?
Oh, scissor me, Danny.
Oh, scissor me, Danny. Thanks, everybody.